and welcome to The Real Talk with Miss B, where Miss B spills all the tea. There's nothing in there. Today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic. We are going to be talking about Broadway Open Calls. As fun as they may sound, they are actually really irritating. So I've done a couple of Broadway Open Calls. I've done Wicked twice, I've done Hamilton, and then I almost did Dear Evan Hansen, but I think I had something to do and I was like, it's not really my go-to show. But I had a couple of friends that did Dear Evan Hansen and they had the same experience that I did doing Hamilton and Wicked twice. I'm just gonna take you through the process. First, where can I find an open call for a Broadway show? So if you are not a represented musical theater performer, or if you're not a represented actor, by that I mean a manager or an agent that sends you off on auditions, you can find other ways to find an open call. Most open calls are kind of everywhere if they really need it. Specifically in LA, I saw a lot. Usually in New York, they're at Pearl Studios. You might want to be on the lookout, but usually they're pretty nice about how they post those. So the ones that I found, I think I found on Facebook, Backstage, and I think my friend sent me some. The most common places to find them are Broadway World, Playbill, Instagram, Facebook, and Backstage. I've actually found a lot through Facebook and Instagram. So Telsey, the company, has a Instagram account, and usually they'll actually post open calls on their Instagram account. They usually post the open call, where it is, what time it starts. For Broadway calls, there's two different types of calls. First, there's a singer call, which means you bring your musical theater book, you sing something, and then there's a dance call, which means it's a mostly dance heavy thing. Pretty important to know. But those are some ways that you can find open calls. For the actual open call, if you are an unrepresented actor or musical theater performer, you have to find these open calls, and when they say the time, you want to get there early. And I mean early. I think for Hamilton, I was up at 3 a.m. and I got there at 5. And I was number 50. Yeah. For Wicked, I think I got there a little late. I was like 5:36-ish, and I was like, dang it. I was either like 89 or 90 or something like that. And that was me getting early, and they said the audition didn't technically start until 7 or 8 a.m. The people who are working the audition aren't going to be there until 7 or 8 in the morning, but there are a lot of people who are going to be in line for these open calls. So you want to make sure you get there early. Here's why. For my Hamilton open call, because I was there so early, I actually felt really good about that call. It was like my first audition after college, and I actually got to sing 16 bars with an accompanist, and it was beautiful. For Wicked, however, I was number 89, 90-ish, and they told all of us, hey, I know you have 16 bars ready, but scratch that, you're gonna be doing 8 bars. Also, it's gonna be a cappella. And we're like, what? That happens a lot. So when you come into these calls, just be prepared to not sing with your book and have an 8-bar cut ready to go. That is something that I wish I would have learned in college, because we never talked about that. For Hamilton, obviously, I got to sing my 16 bars, which is really nice, but also I should always be banking on what will happen if I cannot sing my 16 bars and I have to cut it to 8 bars. What else can I have in my pocket that is a perfect 8-bar cut? So what is an 8-bar cut? An 8-bar cut means 8 measures of the music. So you only get 8 measures of song to sing. And yes, sometimes they ask for it a cappella. And you're like, how the heck am I gonna sing 8 bars a cappella and them have any clue that that's good? Honestly, most auditions that are open calls, they usually have an open call because they're looking for something specific. It may not be, we need a whole new cast of national tour. Sometimes you're like, oh, I kind of know who they are looking for. Now that might not always be the case. Sometimes they really need people to do a national tour or to replace people on Broadway, so they do this open call to see multiple people and to fill multiple spots. But I have to say, if you are doing an open call, you better erase your whole day and make it a part of your whole day for your schedule. You will be up so early, you will be there so late, and you have no idea how much time you will have. Open calls are also very interesting. You have a bunch of different types of people with different backgrounds and experiences. Like, I think I was in line with someone behind me who was still in high school and like hadn't done an actual audition yet. I was fresh out of college. I have representation for TV and film, but I wasn't pursuing musical theater, so I thought, why the heck not? But I had done productions and I do have a resume and headshot, and I felt prepared. There are other people who have been busting their butt and actually have been called back for multiple times but didn't make it through for like Wicked calls and Dear Evan Hansen calls and stuff, and they have an extensive resume and they have a rep for musical theater, but they decided to come in in anyways. So it's a little mix of all of those people. Are open calls nerve-wracking? Yeah, but think about it this way. They're seeing so many people. I think my friend came really late and he was number 238 or something like that. So these people at the table, they're sitting and they're watching a lot of people. So you want something to spark their interests and also maybe have them have fun, because they probably see a bunch of belty ballads and high tenor notes and stuff, but they may not see like some fun stuff, or they may not see like crazy, really original content or some fun repertoire that they don't really hear very often. So it's important to kind of find what works for you, find something that's going to make you stand out, and also something that you're very comfortable with, because you will probably be nervous. Obviously, if you have a musical theater rep, usually that agent or that manager or that person who is your representative can usually find those auditions and get you an appointment. It's easier to have a rep because they can get you in those auditions and you actually have an appointment, so you're not just in a pile of people just waiting in line for an 8-bar cut. You actually have an appointment, your rep sent you there, they know you're coming, they know your name, and you also always have your time, so you have your full 16 or 32 bars to show to the casting people. Getting representation and having representation is also a very long subject I don't really want to cover in this video. I'll probably cover it in a different video, but if you have any questions about that, feel free to drop them below. I'm happy to answer them. Also, never be discouraged because you don't have representation. A lot of people start with no representation and they work and they work and they work to get good representation. So everyone starts from the bottom with no rep and then they eventually get rep. It's okay if you start out and you don't have representation. It's okay, we've all been there. Also, for your musical theater open call, make sure to bring snacks and bring water and bring an extra change of clothes. I think it was raining for one audition and I made sure I had sweatpants and boots, and then I put my heels in my bag because I didn't want to stand in line in my heels, and I'm very thankful that I did that because a lot of people in their heels were like huddling under the roof or something, or huddling under their jacket because they didn't want to be stuck in the rain and they didn't realize that it was going to be raining. Luckily, the industry is changing, which means self-tape is the most common thing ever. So it might be a while until you go to an actual open call in person, and be thankful for that because they are rough. I've only had friends go to the Pearl Studios one in New York, and man, it is tough because most of it in New York is a bunch of sitting and standing in line just to wait to maybe be seen, because they have to prioritize the people with appointments first and then they see who they can bring in for open calls. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you would like to know anything more about open calls, or if you want to know anything about representation, managers, agents, the whole shindig. If you liked this video and you thought this was helpful, make sure to subscribe and please like and comment on what you would like to see next. All right, young pupils, later.